Grant Sterling slammed the divorce papers onto the table, his face icy as he demanded my sister leave with absolutely nothing. Beside him, Sophie Rose, the love of his life, clutched her chest, looking pitiful as she whined about her heart hurting and needing someone to comfort her. My sister, Mia, was weeping like a willow in a storm, about to beg him to stay. I reached out, grabbed the divorce papers off the coffee table, and without even looking at them, shoved them straight into the shredder. Under Grant's shocked gaze, I threw myself onto the floor with a thud, wrapping my arms around his thigh and wailing at the top of my lungs. Grant, bro, you can't divorce her. If you leave my sister, who's going to be the walking blood bank for your girlfriend with half a kidney? Who's going to wake up at 3 a.m. to cook that bone broth that's the only thing your delicate stomach can handle? Who's going to tolerate your superpower of lowering the temperature of the entire city just by frowning? Grant's face turned black. Sophie couldn't keep up her act. My sister's crying stopped abruptly, a snot bubble actually popping in her confusion. I wiped away a non-existent tear and looked up with deep affection. Grant, for the sake of world peace, you two need to stay locked together. I've swallowed the key. The hospital room fell into a deathly silence. Grant, the man whose frozen expression supposedly charmed every socialite in New York, was currently twitching. Sophie Rose's hand, clutching her chest, froze in midair, forgetting to tremble. My sister, Mia Miller, was wiping her nose with a tissue, eyes lost, clearly unable to process why her younger brother, usually a gambling, money-grubbing jerk, had suddenly undergone a personality transplant. Me? I'm Leo Miller, a guy with terrible luck who woke up inside a book. I transmigrated into this trashy, old-school angst novel as the heroine's leech of a brother. The original host was a bona fide scumbag, gambling addict, beggar, the kind of guy who sold his sister out to be a blood bag for a CEO. But that's not me. I'm here to clean up this mess, or rather, fix this dog blood plot. Grant took a deep breath, suppressing his rage, his voice sounding like it was dredged from a freezer. Leo, have you lost your mind? Let go. I hugged tighter, actually rubbing my face against his $28,000 custom suit pants, leaving 2 glistening trails of tears, actually drool. I won't let go. Grant, you can't be so heartless. My sister aged 10 years just worrying about you, and now for this. This. I pointed at Sophie on the bed, feigning hesitation. This Ms. Sophie, who looks a bit like a plastic flower. You're going to abandon your devoted wife. Sophie's face went pale, tears instantly filling her eyes. Grant, don't blame Leo. It's my fault. My body is just too weak. I need Mia's blood. As she spoke, she cast a helpless look at Grant. Grant, predictably, ate this up. His gaze softened instantly, then turned cold and ruthless when he looked back at Mia. Mia, Sophie is in critical condition. The doctor said she needs a transfusion. It's just a pint. You won't die. Mia's body trembled. She was about to nod and agree. This was the original plot. Give blood, have a miscarriage, suffer body and soul. No way. I sprang up from the floor, blocking Mia. Ow, was a pint enough? I roared, startling the nurse so bad she dropped the needle. Grant paused. What did you say? I looked righteous. Grant, you're being too stingy. If this is true love, how can a mere pint demonstrate the depth of your devotion? If you ask me, drain or dry? Drain my useless sister dry in exchange for Ms. Sophie's eternal health. What a bargain. A flicker of joy passed through Sophie's eyes. Grant frowned. Stop talking nonsense. Draining her would kill her. It's fine. If she dies, it just clears the spot for Ms. Sophie. I pulled a beat-up calculator from my pocket, my fingers flying across the keys, the click-clack sound piercing the quiet room. Come on, Grant. Let's crunch the numbers. Rare blood isn't cheap on the open market, and the black market price is even higher. Add in my sister's nutrition fees, emotional damage, lost wages, and the depreciation cost of losing a housekeeper who cooks your broth. I held up the calculator, screen displaying a long string of numbers. Flat fee, $5 million. Money hits the account, you take the blood. We accept Venmo, Zelle, or wire transfer. No checks. I'm afraid you'll bounce them. Grant's face was darker than the bottom of the pot. Are you selling your sister? I'm fulfilling your love story, I declared heroically. Grant, as the CEO of Sterling Corp., holding the lifeline of the global economy, surely you can afford $5 million? Is Ms. Sophie's life not even worth a measly $5 million? This is called moral kidnapping. Grant was stuck. If he paid, he was a sucker. If he didn't, Sophie would think he cared about money more than her. Sophie got anxious, clutching her chest and feigning a faint. Grant, I am dizzy. Am I dying? Grant panicked, about to call for a doctor. I leaned in, staring at Sophie's face. TSK, TSK, look at that rosy glow. Doesn't look like a lack of blood. Looks more like a lack of conscience. Grant, forget the transfusion. Send her straight to the crematorium. If you burn her while she's fresh, you might get some nice ashes to pray to. Get out. Grant finally exploded, pointing at the door and roaring. I grabbed the stunned Mia and bolted. At the door, I didn't forget to look back and twist the knife. Grant, if you're broke, don't play the replacement lover game. Poor guys don't deserve a love of their life. Leo Miller. Behind me came Grant's furious roar and the sound of a vase shattering. I chuckled. Consider this bridge burned. On the ride back to the Sterling mansion, Mia stared at me. It was giving me the creeps. Sis, why are you looking at me like that? I know I'm handsome, but I'm your brother. I rubbed my nose. Mia's eyes were red. Leo, did you start gambling again? Do you own loan sharks? If you do, tell me. I'll sell my blood to pay them back if I have to. My heart ached. This was the standard angst novel heroine, bullied to death but still trying to protect her trash brother. The original host really was garbage. I held her cold hand. Sis, no more gambling. My head got squeezed in a door, and I suddenly woke up. I was a jerk before. For now on, I'm protecting you. Tears streamed down Mia's face. Back at the Sterling villa, the house was frighteningly huge and cold, decorated entirely in black, white, and gray, just like Grant's deadpan face, completely lifeless. Grant rarely came home, so Mia was like a ghost guarding an empty tomb. Sis, go rest. Leave the rest to me. After tucking Mia in, I shed my cheap street clothes and marched into Grant's walk-in closet. Rows of custom shirts, thousands of dollars each. I picked the most expensive silk pajamas and threw them on. A bit big, but it gave me that lazy, aristocratic vibe. I went downstairs to the kitchen. In the book, Mia made tonic soups for Grant every day, which he never drank. He poured them out rather than let her have them. I opened the wine cabinet. Whoa, the good stuff. 82 Lafite, 90 Romane Conti. I randomly pulled out a bottle of red wine worth a few $100,000, popped the cork, and dumped it into a pot. I chopped 2 snow pears and threw them in. Turned on the stove. Stewed it. Half an hour later, the villa was filled with a strange, boozy aroma. The front door opened. Grant was back, face gloomy, clearly having had a bad time at the hospital. He smelled it immediately. Mia, what are you doing? He strode into the kitchen, saw me, and froze. Why is it you? And why are you wearing my clothes? Grant stared at the loose pajamas on me, a vein throbbing in his forehead. I held a spoon, scooped up a bowl of red, wine-poached pear, and blew on it. Grant, you're back? Want a taste? I saw Sis coughing lately, so I made this for her. Grant looked at the empty wine bottle, his pupils quaking. That was from an auction. That bottle was $300,000. I looked innocent. Really? No wonder it was so sour. Grant, you really don't know how to shop. That sour wine is only good for stewing pears. I had to add a cup of sugar just to make it palatable. Grant clutched his chest. That was genuine physical pain. You? Don't mention it. No need to thank me. I lifted the bowl and gulped down a huge mouthful. Much better with sugar. Grant, want a bowl? I know your stomach is bad, but pears are good for the lungs. Grant took a deep breath, telling himself to have class. He couldn't lower himself to argue with a bum. Get out. He pointed at the door. I put down the bowl and belched. That's going to be a problem. Grant, you know I sold my apartment to pay debts, so I'm homeless. Since my sister is your wife, this is my house too. Don't be a stranger. Just think of it as adopting another dog. Another person. Grant sneered. You think you deserve to be here? I don't. I pulled my phone from my pocket. Then I'll just start a live stream and chat with the netizens. I've got the title ready. Billionaire CEO's brother-in-law on the streets. Exposing the cold-blooded truth behind the wealth. Grant froze. The Sterling Group was closing a major deal. Public image was critical. He stared daggers at me. If looks could kill, I'd be minced meat. Leo Miller, you better pray your sister's tolerance for you lasts forever. With that, he turned and went upstairs, his back looking desolate. I shouted at his retreating figure. Grant, this wine is great. Buy more next time. Sis loves it. Grant slipped on the stairs and almost ate the floor. Dinner time. The table was set with an exquisite French meal. Steak, foie gras, truffle soup. Grant sat at the head of the table, knife and fork in hand, elegant as a vampire duke. Mia stood to the side, head bowed, holding a decanter. This was the rule at the Sterling house. When Grant ate, Mia had to stand and serve, ready to pour wine or plate food at a moment's notice. What kind of feudal nonsense was this? I pulled out the chair right next to Grant, sat my butt down, and then forced Mia into the chair on the other side. Sis, sit down and eat. Standing is tiring. Grant's hand paused mid-cut. He swept a cold glance over us. No manners. Who said you could sit at the table? Who said she could sit? Mia, terrified, started to stand up again. I held her down and slid the plate of sizzling steak in front of her. Grant, that's where you're wrong. It's the 21st century. We don't do that master-servant garbage anymore. As I spoke, I pushed the plate I had specially asked the maid to prepare, cold, stale dinner rolls and a saucer of cheap pickles, in front of Grant. Grant looked at the hard, dry bread, then at the prime steak in front of Mia. He laughed in anger. Leo, what is the meaning of this? I looked sincere. Grant, I'm doing this for you. You have severe stomach issues. Didn't the doctor say you need to eat bland food to heal your gut? Steak is greasy and hard to digest. You'll definitely get a stomach ache. These rolls are stale, which means the yeast has settled. Very gentle on the stomach. And these pickles? That's the essence of time-honored fermentation. Grant slammed his knife and fork down. I'm not eating stale bread. Not eating. I immediately whipped out my phone, camera pointed at him. Fam, can you believe this? For the sake of my brother-in-law's health, I prepared a special wellness meal. But he's wasting food because he thinks it's too plain. Does this extravagant lifestyle honor the farmers who grew the grain? Grant gritted his teeth. He didn't just have stomach problems. He had OCD and perfectionism. The threat of a live stream was worse than death. Turn it off. Then will you eat it? Grant looked at the plate of rolls like it was a bomb. Finally, under the pressure of my camera lens, he picked up a roll and took a vicious bite. His expression wasn't like he was eating bread. It was like he was eating my flesh. Is it good, Grant? Delicious. Grant squeezed the word out through his teeth. Mia kept her head down, cutting her steak, her shoulders shaking. I knew she was laughing. It was the first time she'd smiled at this table in 3 years of marriage. After dinner, Grant went to his study with a dark face. 5 minutes later, he stormed out. Now, why won't the Wi-Fi connect? I was sprawled on the couch watching TV, cracking sunflower seeds. Oh, I thought the old password was too hard to remember, so I changed it. Changed it to what? Grant Sterling is a pig. Grant. All one word, capital letters for each word. I added. Grant took a deep breath, took out his phone, and typed it in. It connected. His face got even darker. Change it back. Can't. The router broke. We're stuck with this one. I lied through my teeth. Grant was about to explode when his phone rang. It was Sophie. He answered, his tone instantly becoming gentle. Sophie, what's wrong? Chest pain again? Okay, I'm coming right over. Hanging up, he gave me a cold look. I have to go out. I won't be back tonight. Mia's eyes dimmed. I jumped up. Grant, where are you going? Take me with you. I want to see how Ms. Sophie's heart is constructed. Why does it only hurt at night? Is she a solar-powered plant that wilts without the sun? None of your business. Grant slammed the door and left. The moment the door closed, Mia's tears fell. I pushed the seed bowl aside and grabbed a tissue to wipe her face. Why cry? A man like that belongs in the trash. Non-recyclable trash. Sis, starting today, we have one goal. Get rich, then tell him to get lost. 3 days later, it was Sophie's birthday party. The woman was manipulative. She specifically sent Mia an invitation with a note. Please wear formal attire. She wanted to humiliate Mia. The whole city knew that although Mrs. Sterling had a title, she was less than a decoration in Grant's eyes and had no jewelry or gowns to her name. Mia held the invite, panicked. Leo, I shouldn't go. I'll just embarrass myself. Go. Why not? I slapped my thigh. Not only are we going, we're going to outshine everyone. I took Mia to the mall. Grant had set a limit of $500 on Mia's supplementary credit card. Pure humiliation. But I had Grant's black card. I swiped it from his wallet while he was choking on stale bread. Black card in hand, I rule the land. But I didn't buy those so-called haute couture gowns. I went straight to a store catering to eccentric older ladies and picked out a cheongsam with a loud, red and green floral pattern, like a northeastern Chinese blanket, and paired it with a neon green shawl. Now, this. Mia looked at herself in the mirror, wanting to die. Sis, this is high fashion. This is confidence. I gave her a thumbs up. Think about it. Those socialites will all be in backless, leg-bearing evening gowns, all looking the same. You stand there in this, and you're the focal point. You're the queen. Mia was skeptical, but under my bamboozling, she wore it. Evening, the Sterling Hilltop Villa. Lights blazed, luxury cars lined up. Sophie wore a pure white custom mermaid dress, looking like a delicate white lotus, holding Grant's arm and accepting compliments. Ms. Sophie is so beautiful and kind. She and Mr. Sterling are a match made in heaven. Just then, the double doors swung open. Mia and I walked in. The room went silent. Deathly silent. Mia's red and green outfit, under the crystal chandeliers, practically blinded everyone. I was wearing a black t-shirt that cost $9.99 online, printed with the words, "Total Trouble." Below, ripped jeans and flip-flops. In my hand, I carried a black trash bag. This visual combination hit harder than Mars crashing into Earth. But someone laughed. Then the whispers started. "Oh my God, is that Mrs. Sterling? Has she lost it? Who's the hobo next to her? The brother-in-law?" Grant saw us, and his face turned green. He marched over, hissing, "Mia, what the hell are you wearing? Are you trying to humiliate me?" Sophie walked over too, covering her mouth to hide a smirk, eyes full of mockery. "Mia, did you walk onto the wrong set? This is a birthday party, not a circus." Mia lowered her head in shame. I stepped forward, blocking Mia, and smiled at Sophie. "Ms. Sophie, you really have no taste. This is called blossoming prosperity. It signifies the aura of the legitimate wife. Unlike some people, dressing all in white like they're at a funeral. We know it's a birthday, but strangers might think someone died." Sophie's smile froze. The crowd gasped. He actually said it. Grant roared, "Leo, shut up. Grant, don't rush." I lifted the black plastic bag. "For Ms. Sophie's birthday, I prepared a generous gift." Sophie eyed the bag warily. What? What is it?" "Family heirlooms." I smiled mysteriously and opened the bag. Crash. A pile of colorful cards spilled out. I picked one up and read loudly. "The nice guy card. Ms. Sophie, in light of your dedication to wrecking homes while pretending to be innocent, I, representing all legitimate wives, issue you this card. May you only ever be just a friend and never the bride." I then pulled out a sash and snapped it open. Red satin, gold letters. Homewrecker of the Year. "This sash is for Ms. Sophie's acting skills. The Oscars owe you a trophy." The crowd was in an uproar. Sophie shook with rage, tears coming on command, her body going soft as she fell toward Grant. "Grant, he's humiliating me." Grant was about to explode, but Sophie didn't want to let it go. She rolled her eyes, grabbed Grant, and pulled him toward the pool. "It's too stuffy here, I need air." Mia wanted to leave, but I held her back. "Sis, the show's just starting." We followed them. By the pool, Sophie stood at the edge, pretending to look at the water but actually checking angles. I knew what she was doing. Classic melodrama trope. Pretend the heroine pushed her in, frame the heroine. Sure enough, Sophie turned, gave Mia a weird smile, then threw herself backward, screaming, "Ah, Mia, why did you push me?" Mia was 6 feet away, completely confused. In a split second, Sophie leaned back. I moved. I sprinted past Mia like a cannonball, straight for the pool. But I didn't save her. I jumped at myself. Splash, splash. 2 splashes sounded almost simultaneously. Sophie hit the water. I hit the water. I thrashed around louder than Sophie, screaming, "Help! Murder! Ms. Sophie is jealous of my looks. She's trying to drown me." Sophie had just surfaced, not even getting a chance to act fragile before my screaming confused her. The people on shore were confused. Grant was confused. What was this move? I slapped the water frantically, sending massive sprays directly into Sophie's face. Her carefully applied makeup ruined instantly, false lashes hanging halfway off, making her look like a drowned ghost. Gurgle. H help. Sophie swallowed several mouthfuls of pool water. Grant snapped out of it and jumped in to save her. He swam toward Sophie. No way was I letting that happen. I dove underwater and wrapped myself around Grant's legs. "Grant, save me. I have a cramp. I am dying. I have an 80-year-old mother to support." I was dead weight. Grant couldn't swim an inch. "Let go. Leo, you bastard." "No, you're my brother-in-law. You can't leave me to die. Save me first, we're family. She's an outsider." During the struggle, Sophie had drunk her fill and started rolling her eyes back. Finally, security jumped in and fished Sophie out. Grant dragged me ashore. As soon as I hit land, I collapsed, coughing violently, spat out 2 mouthfuls of water, and tightly wrapped myself in the suit jacket Grant had discarded earlier. So scary. That was so scary. Grant stood there panting, soaked, and pathetic. He looked at Sophie lying like a dead fish, then at me, alive and kicking and wanted to kill someone. "Now, you jumped in yourself, just now." Grant roared. I looked aggrieved. "Grant, how can you accuse me like that?" "Clearly, Ms. Sophie tried to use the force to push my sister, but the recoil knocked me in two. Is this the legendary punching the bull from across the mountain technique?" The crowd was trying desperately not to laugh. Sophie came to, her face a colorful mess. She pointed at Mia. It was her. She pushed me. I pointed at the security camera. "Ms. Sophie, a brain is a good thing. Shame you don't have one." The There's a camera right there, 360-degree HD night vision. Should we watch the instant replay to see if it was a gravitational anomaly or just someone acting? Sophie's face went pale. She shut up. Grant looked at the camera, then at Sophie's guilty expression. Even if he was dense, he understood. But he was a CEO. He couldn't lose face. Enough. End this farce. Take Ms. Sophie home to rest. The party ended badly. But I won. I saw Mia secretly give me a thumbs up. After the birthday battle, Grant didn't come home for days. I was happy for the peace, taking Mia out for good food and fun, maxing out Grant's card, and turning the house into an arcade. Until late one night. The phone rang. The hospital again. Mr. Sterling, Ms. Rose's condition has worsened. Double kidney failure. She needs a transplant immediately, or she won't survive the night. The doctor sounded frantic. Grant rushed home like a madman, dragging Mia out of bed without a word. To the hospital. Kidney transplant. His eyes were terrifyingly red, devoid of reason. Mia shook with fear, too weak to resist. This was the core plot of the novel, the darkest moment. I kicked the bedroom door open, rushing out in SpongeBob SquarePants pajamas. Transplant what kidney? Try transplanting a brain. Grant turned, eyes ferocious. Leo, stay out of this. Sophie is dying. Only your sister's kidney is a match. Match my ass. My sister is weak. She'll die if she loses a kidney. The Sterling family will provide for her for life. Provide for cripple? I sneered. Ishovid grant azide. Shielding Mia. You want a kidney? Fine, I have one. I'm her brother. Mine must match too. Take mine. Mia screamed. Leo. No. Grant paused, looking at me with complicated eyes. You? Yes, me. Unlike my sister, I'm strong as an ox. Losing a kidney just means I can't rule the world. Come on, take mine. Don't touch my sister. Grant hated me, but even he was slightly moved. Fina, if it matches, I'll give you 10 million. At the hospital, I was immediately wheeled in for a full workup. Half an hour later, the doctor came out holding the report, looking like he'd stepped in something. Grant asked urgently, well, is it a match? The doctor shook his head and sighed. Mr. Sterling, this Mr. Miller's kidney. How should I put this? If you put in a dog, the dog would shake its head. Grant. Me? The doctor pointed at the report. Double kidney stones. The biggest one is the size of a golf ball. Severe fatty liver, uric acid levels off the charts, and kidney deficiency. If we put this in Ms. Rose, she wouldn't die from rejection. She'd die from complications. I wailed and dropped to my knees. Grant, I'm sorry. I failed, Miss Sophie. My useless body, not even fit to be harvested. I am a sinner. I cried earth-shatteringly loud, wiping snot and tears all over Grant's pant leg. Grant's mouth twitched, looking like he wanted to kick me away. Just then, a young nurse ran over in a panic, holding another report. Mr. Sterling, bad news. Ms. Rose's latest test results are back. Grant's heart tightened. What is it? Is it hopeless? The nurse looked at me, then at Grant, hesitating. I snatched the report. This was the result of me paying a hacker $500 to tweak the system earlier during the chaos. I stared at the paper, eyes widening, and let out a scream like a slaughtered pig. Oh my God, Grant, great news. Grant frowned. What news? I shoved the paper into his face. Ms. Sophie isn't sick. She's pregnant. 3 weeks along. The air solidified. Grant froze, then looked ecstatic. Pregnant. If it was pregnancy, then the kidney failure was a misdiagnosis. But a second later, his smile froze. He turned to the doctor. The doctor was also confused. Impossible, Ms. Rose is clearly. I interrupted the doctor loudly. Grant, congratulations. But I recall, didn't you get a vasectomy last month? You know, to prevent my sister from getting pregnant, you were pretty ruthless with yourself. This was a hidden setting in the original book. Grant secretly got snipped for his white moonlight, so the heroine wouldn't bear his children. Grant's face went from rosy to pale, then to iron gray. It felt like a lush, green forest was growing on top of his head. Vasectomy. Mia covered her mouth in shock. I twisted the knife. Yeah, Grant. Even though you're shooting blanks, Ms. Sophie is working hard. This is a medical miracle. Asexual reproduction. Grant couldn't catch his breath, eyes rolling back as he went rigid and collapsed. Overcome by rage, he went straight to the ICU. This time, no kidney transplant needed. He needed a heart transplant. Grant was down. The Sterling Group turned into a chaotic mess. The shareholders were like sharks smelling blood, ready to carve up the carcass. Someone needed to take charge. It should have been Mia, but she was too soft and would be eaten alive by those old foxes. So I stepped up, holding Grant's official seal, which I swiped right before he passed out. I swaggered into the CEO's office. The assistant tried to stop me. "Mr. Miller, this is a restricted area." I slammed the seal on the desk. Seeing the seal is like seeing the man. I'm the CEO's brother-in-law. With Grant in the ICU, I call the shots. I sat in the priceless leather chair, spun around. Felt good. Order everyone to the conference room. In the conference room, a group of executives looked at me, cracking sunflower seeds, their faces sour. "Gentlemen, I'm subbing in." I spat out a seed shell. "The company is in crisis. We need reform." The HR director sneered. "Does Mr. Miller know management?" "I don't, but I know human nature." I pointed at him. "You. From now on, bathroom breaks are limited to 5 minutes. Any longer, and we dock your pay. You, and the rest of you." I looked at the balding execs. "You used to preach the 996 work culture, right? Said it was a blessing. Now I declare, we switched to 24/7. For Grant, for the company, you executives earning millions a year must live at the office. Work until you drop." Wails of despair filled the room. But then I turned to the trembling employee representatives in the back row. As for the staff, wages doubled. Weekends off. Triple pay for overtime. Also, establishing a paid bathroom break award. Whoever has the smoothest movements gets a roll of gold leaf toilet paper. The room was silent for 3 seconds. Then thunderous applause erupted. The employees looked at me like I was their rebirth parents. As long as you hold the grassroots, the company won't fall. Suddenly, Sophie Spy, a vice president, jumped out to object. "This is against the rules. This is chaos." I smiled. "What's your name?" "Wong Chong." "All right, VP Wong. I hear you're close with Ms. Sophie Rose, often helping her reimburse plastic surgery bills on the company dime." Wong's face changed. "That's slander. Check the books, and we'll see if it's slander." I waved my hand. "Security, move VP Wong's desk to the entrance of the men's restroom. The feng shui is good there, attracts wealth and flies. From now on, he works there supervising hand washing." Security dragged Wong out, killing the chicken to scare the monkeys. The whole company instantly behaved. Grant lay in the hospital for a week. During that week, I took a hatchet to the company, clearing out all the sycophants and nepotism hires, promoting a bunch of hardworking young people. The stock price didn't drop. Thanks to this clean stream operation, it hit the daily limit. When Grant woke up and saw the financial news, he almost passed out again. Headline: Mystery Helm at Sterling Group emerges, reforms workplace, hailed as the god of the working class. I brought a fruit basket to visit. "Grant, you're awake?" "No need to thank me, just doing my duty." I peeled a banana and ate it myself. Grant pointed weakly at me. What did you do to my company?" "Nothing much, just took out the trash." "Grant, look, without you, the company runs faster." "What does that tell you?" "It means you were the bottleneck holding us back." Grant clutched his chest, breathing fast. I patted his shoulder. "Rest up, try to get discharged soon. By the way, VP Wong is waiting by the toilet for your inspection." Through this battle, Mia finally saw Grant's true colors. The man who was once a god in her heart was just an ordinary guy who fainted, got cheated on, and was entirely replaceable. And a scumbag at that. She was no longer the weeping little wife. The day Grant was discharged, he planned to go home and deal with me. But when he got home, the house was empty. Everything belonging to Mia was gone. Even the giant wedding photo on the wall had been taken down, replaced by a picture of the god of wealth. On the coffee table lay a divorce agreement. Signed. Next to it was a note I left. "Grant, happy divorce. Best wishes to you and the pregnant Virgin Mary Ms. Sophie. By the way, I transferred the household funds. Consider it back pay plus interest for all the years my sister played your maid, plus emotional damages since you cheated. Keep the change. Let's never meet again." Grant crumpled the note, veins popping on his hand. Find them for me." He thought Mia couldn't live without him, that she was playing hard to get. The result? His assistant tremblingly handed him a phone. "Mr. Sterling, the madam. She seems to be doing quite well." On the screen was my Instagram, a 9-photo grid. Photo 1, Mia at a top-tier spa, glowing. Photo 2, us eating at a 3-star Michelin restaurant, Mia smiling like a flower. Photo 3, the killer shot, at a high-end club. Mia sitting in the center, surrounded by 5 young, handsome male models. One massaging her shoulders, another peeling grapes for her. Caption: I was blind before, now my eyes are open. This is the life. Grant, check out this guy's abs, harder than your stomach, right? Grant looked at the woman laughing freely in the photo and felt panic for the first time. It was a loss of control he'd never felt. His heart felt like it was being crushed, not out of love, but because his possessiveness was challenged. Go, buy that club. Kick those men out. Grant went crazy. Sophie, unaware of her precarious situation, sidled up. Grant, good riddance to that bitch, now we can. Grant whipped around, eyes murderous. Get out. Whose child is it? Sophie trembled. Yours, of course. Investigate. Investigate everything. Sophie panicked. Meanwhile, Mia and I were vacationing at a beach villa. Sis, are you happy? Mia sipped coconut water, looking at the ocean. Leo, I've never felt the air was this sweet. That's right. Men only slow down your sword, but a brother sharpens it for you. Grant finally uncovered the truth. Sophie wasn't pregnant. I'd swapped the report, but she was messing around with other men. Sophie was kicked out of the Sterling home. Grant began frantically searching for Mia. He finally realized the woman who always stood silently behind him, leaving a light on no matter how late, was gone. His stomach acted up. No amount of medicine helped. He missed the porridge only Mia could make. Classic cheap psychology. Don't cherish what you have. Regret it only when it's lost. He found her location. A villa by the sea, bought with his money. It was pouring rain. Grant stood downstairs, soaked to the bone, looking like a drowned rat. Classic crematorium trope, the pity play. He shouted, Mia, I was wrong. Come back. Mia stood at the floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the pathetic figure below, her eyes calm. Leo, he's so loud. Leave it to me. I ran to the balcony and set up a massive PA system usually used for square dancing. Music blasted. Today is a good day. All wishes come true. The joyous drums instantly drowned out Grant's shouting. Grant! Before he could react, I hooked up a high-pressure hose. Grant! Showering in the rain isn't hygienic. Let me add some pressure. This is car wash grade, guaranteed, to clean you right up. I played dirty, turning on the tap. Whoosh! A powerful jet of water hit Grant right in the face. Cough, cough. Grant staggered, unable to stand. Goodbye CEO image, goodbye deep romance. Leo Miller. F you. Grant, don't mention it. Free service. Grant was eventually dragged away by his assistant after he fainted from fever. I didn't call an ambulance. Too expensive. I called a moving van. Driver, take this to the nearest vet. Hospital. This cargo is heavy, charged by the pig weight. Grant woke up in a narrow bed, and 4 dripped beside him. He thought Mia had finally softened. A nurse walked in, an older lady. Awake? $500 total. Cash or card? Where is this? Community clinic. Your brother-in-law dropped you off. Said you had swine fever. Told us to just patch you up cheaply. Grant's vision went black. He fainted again, this time from pure rage. Sophie, seeing Grant truly abandoning her, decided to go all in. She couldn't find Grant, so she transferred her hatred to me. She felt I ruined everything. She hired some thugs, planning to stage a harassment incident when I went out, record it, and post it online to ruin my reputation. Unfortunately, she underestimated the vigilance of a troll. That night, I was cornered in an alley. Sophie, wearing torn clothes, rushed out and hugged me, screaming, help, harassment. Thugs with sticks surrounded us. Hey kid, how dare you bully Miss Sophie? Meanwhile, a hidden camera's red light blinked. I didn't panic. I laughed. I pulled a megaphone from my bag, then a stack of red bills. Gentlemen, are we filming a movie? What's your appearance fee? I'll pay double. The thugs froze. I'm the brother-in-law of Grant Sterling. This woman is a fraudster. Grant is hunting her down globally. If you help her, you're against Sterling Corp. But if you help me, I waive the cash. This is your tip, plus job offers in Sterling Security. Benefits, room, and board included. The head thug swallowed. Why be a gangster? For the money. You keep your word? I, Leo Miller, swear on my brother-in-law's character. 1 minute later, the tables turned. Sophie was pinned to the ground by the thugs, unable to move. I on my phone live streaming. Hey guys, live Justice Channel tonight. Look at Ms. Sophie here, directing and starring in her own setup. Too bad she met me. The messenger of justice. Just then, Grant arrived. He had received a text from Sophie and came thinking he could be a hero and score points with me. Instead, he saw Sophie screaming like a banshee on the ground. Let me go. You useless trash. I'll kill Leo Miller. I walked over and played the recording from the pool incident right in front of Grant. It was a phone call between Sophie and her affair partner. As long as I secure that idiot Grant and get the Sterling fortune, we can run away. That Mia is a fool. I'll play her to death. The audio was crisp. Every word is stabbed to the heart. Grant stood there, thunderstruck. The rose-tinted glasses shattered completely. He looked at Sophie like she was a monster. So, all these years, you were lying to me. Sophie, seeing the jig was up, stopped pretending. She laughed hideously. So what if I lied? You're an idiot. You deserve to be cheated on. Grant's hand trembled as he pointed at her. Call the police. The police arrived and took Sophie away. Extortion, plus the previous fraud, enough for a long sentence. Before she left, I handed Sophie a mirror. Take a look. Even a filter can't save you now. Ugly comes from the inside. With Sophie gone, Grant was truly alone. He finally understood what he had lost. He started frantically pursuing Mia, wanting to remarry. He sent flowers, cars, houses. I accepted them all on Mia's behalf. Then I listed them on eBay. Ex-husband's penitence luxury car. Mint condition, 50% off. Act fast. Mia watched the numbers in her account grow, unable to stop smiling. Grant showed up at the door, his attitude humble to the extreme. Leo, let me see Mia. I truly repent. I drag a chair to block the door, crossing my legs. Want to remarry? Pass my test first. I pulled out a thick manual I prepared, the Good Husband Guide. Lesson 1. Learn to talk. No more poker face. No more saying, woman, you've caught my attention. No more bankrupting companies when you're upset. One violation, $10,000 fine. Grant swallowed it. Okay,